or your emotions will take control of you. So today my topic is on weakness. When you are weak, what do you do? Do you remain in bed? Do you stay lying down? Do you use your weakness as an excuse not to do anything? Are you sick, and then have you noticed that you are becoming sicker and sicker because you refuse to stop sick? So once again, my topic is on weakness, and my declaration and what this whole topic is about today is to encourage you to stop being weak. And I do know that sometimes it's completely out of your control to be weak. Sometimes life just happens. As I'm shooting this show, it's been almost 3 months since my mother died. And I tell you the God honest truth. Sometimes I wake up in the morning and I am very, very weak. I think about her and she is not there for me to share all my secrets with, and I become weak. There are many incidences that has happened or that have happened in my life and that has happened in your life that will make you weak. But this show is an encouragement that regardless of how weak you are, what do you do when you are weak? Because life would bring you situations, life would bring you scenarios, life would put you in a place where you have absolutely no choice than to actually get up or die. So what is your decision when you are weak? I came to Nigeria a few weeks ago, and I ended up in a hospital in Lagos with malaria. After singing, I sang in this church and everybody was so happy. All my CDs were sold. Everything was great. I was not weak. But then after doing this big thing, after living up to my dream, because what I do is I sing and I preach and I reach out to people, after doing this thing, weakness came. Malaria came. Now, to somebody watching, especially if you are watching from just Nigeria, you would say, what is malaria now? Everybody has malaria. But you have to understand that when someone doesn't live in a certain environment, they are more susceptible to getting sick, and something that's really small could be totally blown out of control. So this malaria was completely blown out of control. And I literally felt like somebody who was about to die. And I was booked to minister, to sing in Abuja. And here I was in Lagos, sick, and I was in the hospital. But I couldn't call the pastor and be, oh, pastor, I have malaria, I cannot make it. No, you can't do that. Because you have an assignment. My assignment was to sing, my assignment was to preach, and my assignment was to reach out to those people in that church. So what did I do? I slept. I took my medication and I got on the road and I went to Abuja. When I got to Abuja, a few minutes to getting to the church, I bought moi moi. I ate that moi moi on the street. It was hot, it was flaming. And then I took my medication and I walked into that church. I laid hands on over 200 people. I sang, I preached, and ironically, my message on that day was, do not get weak. And when you get weak, what do? So the first rule of thumb, letter W, because we're talking about weak, W-E-A-K. The first rule of thumb is you have to keep walking. W, walk. Regardless of how weak you are, walk. You can crawl, you can fly, you can swim, you can hop, you can jump. But whatever you do, do not stop. Do not stop. You have to keep walking. You have to keep walking. Regardless of how sick you are, regardless of how tired you are, regardless of whether they pet you or they don't pay you, regardless of whether they respect you or they don't respect you, regardless of if you have the money for that project, for that organization. I run a lot of businesses, and God knows that there are so many times that the account is in deficit. And now the letter E is you have to eat. When you are weak, you have to eat. So in this case, what do you eat? You enhance yourself. You make yourself big. You make yourself healthy by getting an education. You make yourself healthy. If you are a makeup artist and you're not good enough, you go and you get stronger in your skill. If you are a singer, you go for vocal lessons. If you are somebody who likes fashion, you go and you learn how to sew. You have to eat. When you are weak, first of all, you have to walk, and then you have to eat. Because if you do not eat, you will faint. You will die. You will get dizzy, and you wouldn't be able to do what you have been brought on this earth to do. So when you are weak, you eat. You educate yourself. You enhance yourself. You get all kinds of information. You fill your head up with knowledge, okay? You fly that plane. You write that book. You do what you were called to do. If you want to be a photographer, you go, you buy a camera. If you do not have any money, then you become somebody's apprentice, and they pay you and pay you and pay you. Eventually, you can afford your own thing, and then you own your own company. What is my mission? To bring emotional healing to people through my singing, through my preaching, through what I'm doing now, and even through my business, which is Ankara. You understand? So regardless of how weak you are, you have to eat. And now the letter A, you amplify. So when you are weak, you walk, you eat, and then you amplify. To amplify means to make bigger. It means to swell. It means to make fatter. It means to just build on top of what you have eaten. So basically, when you eat, okay, so now we have served a plate of rice, right? Okay, but when you amplify, that's when you put coleslaw on the side. That's when you put vegetables on the side. That's when you amplify. So you're no longer in that E stage when you were eating and when you were working for somebody. Now you own your own thing. So now you amplify. You own your company. There is a name to that company. There is a logo to the company. It is registered. Okay? You have sponsors for this company. You have yearly projects. You have annual events. For me, it's Pearls International. some of you know, but I run an organization for women who seek emotional healing. But my mission is not just to women alone. So what did I do? I amplified and I got another organization called The Ring. And that one is a motivational monthly engagement. Well, so when you are weak, you walk, you eat, you amplify, you make bigger. You make whatever you have in your hand, you make it bigger. When I started my Ankara business, all I did was just sell the fabrics. But now I also make sure that they are designed. I sell them in pretty much any country. I get a celebrity and I sew for them and I mail it off to them complimentary. Because what I get in return, hallelujah, is an amplification. Do you understand? So I'm going to come right back and I will give you the last points and I would round up. Remember, do not stay weak. It's okay to be weak, but don't stay there.
From the sandy desert of the north to the great mangrove swamp of the south, there is a national icon that has steadily identified with the Nigerian nation-state, bringing you educative information that entertains, galvanizing the people towards national development, unity, understanding, peace, and love. We have inspired the people through decades of thorough professionalism in television broadcasting and undiluted patriotism. With our presence in over 110 cities across the nation, beaming television signals within the continent of Africa and across the Atlantic, the Nigerian Television Authority has indeed come of age. We are still here and even stronger to face the challenges of nation building. NTA. We are Africa's largest television network. You can't beat the reach.
I was telling you about being weak. In life, you will be weak. You would have extremely weak moments. You would have very tired moments. Some of you may have sickly moments where something is just in your life and it's not going. Some of you know that I have a rod in my spinal cord from scoliosis. Do you know how tired I get? Do you know how weak I get? Sometimes in the night, I am in perpetual pain. Sometimes when I wake up in the morning, the first thing that says good morning is the rod in my spinal cord. Sometimes I have to pay so much money to get a massage, and that massage could only last for 48 hours or maybe for 72. So I have experienced weakness in my life, and sometimes I experience it every day. But regardless of how weak I am and regardless of how weak you are, you have to keep on walking. So I've been using the word weak, W-E-A-K, the first letter. When you are weak, you walk. When you are weak is when you walk. Because if you stay in bed and if you just, I am so tired. Oh my God, I have a headache. The more you keep. So when I was going to work in New York, I'm to you today is if you're crying, keep on walking. If you're even walking with a limp, keep on walking. You may not walk straight, but keep walking. And let me tell you something about crying. As you cry, your vision gets blurry. You get weaker. You get dizzy. So it's okay to cry, but there also has to be a season. You can't just be crying for the rest of your life, woe unto me, and remain a victim. There is something that you are called to this world to do. Find your mission, focus on your mission, and when the weakness comes, get rid of it. So my encouragement to you today is that regardless of how weak you are, mission must be accomplished. Your mission must be accomplished. I guess that a lot of people stay weak and they stay sick because they don't know what their mission is. What is your mission? You have to figure it out. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, remember, do not allow your emotions to be in control of you. Be in control of your emotions.